Hello everyone, Matthew Richard here, and I just finished reading an article online about how Donald Trump is the first president in around 40 years not to visit Canada in his first term. Now, as a Trump supporter, I really could care less that he hasn't visited us because I know that our two countries are each other's number one trading partner, and that we have a great relationship with each other despite who our prime minister is or who their president is, because in terms of business, that's just the right thing to do, to have a good relationship and to put personal disliking of each other aside if our leaders are not too fond of one another. Now, the mainstream media will probably be on Donald Trump's case about this, but I really don't think it's a big deal because according to the article, Donald Trump and Prime Minister Trudeau spoke to each other on 17 separate occasions since Trump took office. President Trump has spent time in the Middle East and Europe, and then he recently had his Asia tour. So I think those places were more important than coming into Canada because he already has a good relationship with our country, despite how so many people in Canada do have a strong disliking for him. But I think it was more important that Trump went to the places that he did, especially in Asia with visiting China, because he mainly went there for the trade, to work on trade, and also, very importantly, to try to convince China that they need to stop helping North Korea. Fortunately, China got caught red-handed, pun intended, on selling oil to North Korea. So it doesn't look like North Korea's not going to be a threat anytime soon, considering they're still being backed by China when you think about it. I wish there's something that could be done in terms of China to maybe punish them for helping North Korea. We'll see what happens in the new year. I think Donald Trump is expected to visit Canada, though, in 2018, so we'll see what happens. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of people protesting him visiting here, but when you think about it, Obama visited, so it's only fair that Trump's allowed to visit as well. I'm not sure when he'll be visiting in 2018, we'll have to see, but I would welcome Donald Trump with open arms. Donald Trump and Prime Minister Trudeau, they're like night and day. They're two completely different people. Basically, what one's doing, the other's doing the exact opposite pretty much across the board. Trump's cracking down on borders. We have very open borders up here in Canada. We let over 30,000 asylum seekers from the United States in this year alone. Trudeau will raise taxes, and Donald Trump's lowered taxes, and that's going to be in effect. Trudeau's raising taxes on small businesses, which is the backbone of the Canadian economy. Despite the Conservatives saying this, he's done it anyway because he spent like a drunken sailor. That's honestly not too far from the truth. And people need to pay for the spending that he's been doing, so this is how we're doing it, because we're cutting money, we're taking money away from our veterans and people's health benefits, and we're essentially paying for Trudeau's crazy spending, which we'll have to do for many, many years to come. So thanks a lot, you friggin' idiot. Donald Trump's also, so he's cracked down on the border, he's lowered taxes, he's created so many new jobs, I think over 2 million jobs for his people. Meanwhile, the jobs are probably leaving Canada at such a large rate. We've had so many thousands of manufacturing jobs lost since the early 2000s, and nobody's doing anything about it. We're just watching these much-needed jobs go overseas where people work for much less money, and nobody's raising taxes for these companies to bring their product back in. They're not getting any punishment whatsoever. Trump's doing that in the States. So that, for example, Ford was about to build a new plant in Mexico, and then Trump gets elected. And then all of a sudden, they stop the construction on the new plant in Mexico because they knew they'd be punished severely by having over a 30% tax trying to bring their cars back into the U.S. So they stopped that immediately. And that's just the power that the president and prime minister could have, but Trudeau chooses not to do anything like that. Up here in Canada, we have biased media coverage of President Donald Trump. The majority of what we see on TV is extremely negative about him. The only time you see anything positive about Donald Trump in the news is when you're basically reading a newspaper that's a conservative newspaper, and then they finally give you more of a conservative perspective on what he's doing. Otherwise, if you're just watching TV stations up here, you'll only see him being bashed by our liberal-backed news stations. So I do welcome Donald Trump here in 2018 with open arms, and I certainly won't be protesting his arrival. He has every right to enter this country like everybody else, so long as you have a passport and you essentially have a clean background check, which he clearly does since he's the president. It's not like he's just walking over our border like all the illegal people that did that this year in this country. So I wanted to wish everyone a happy new year. Wishing everyone good health, prosperity, much happiness in the new year. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.